They wore the suits, they played the game. Built empires, hiding every name. Money talks, truth survives. Every lie comes out in time. Financial crimes, read between the lines. Every fortune leaves a trail behind. Commission desk, we expose the signs.
I follow the facts,
not the hype. Every file tells a story.
every story leaves evidence.
Welcome to Financial Crimes in History, a documentary series that explores some of the world's most infamous financial frauds, scandals, and economic crimes. The stories presented in this series are based on publicly available historical records, court documents, and credible news reports. This content is created solely for educational, documentary, and informational purposes. It is not intended to defame, glorify, or encourage any illegal activity. The purpose of this series is to educate viewers about financial history and the lessons it teaches. Now, let's begin. Episode 1, The Birth of Bernie Madoff, from lifeguard to Wall Street, before Bernie Madoff became the face of the biggest investment fraud in history. He was just an ordinary young man from Queens, New York, born on April 29, 1938. Bernie grew up in a middle-class family during a time when America was rapidly changing. As a teenager, he worked as a lifeguard during the summer. He also took on different odd jobs to earn extra money. By the age of 22, he had saved approximately $5,000. Instead of spending it, he decided to build a business. In 1960, Bernie founded Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. At first, everything was completely legitimate. His company focused on buying and selling stocks for clients and acting as a market maker. While many Wall Street firms still relied on traditional trading methods, Madoff embraced new technology. He invested early in electronic trading systems, helping execute trades faster and more efficiently. That decision gave his firm a competitive advantage. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, his company continued to grow. More investors trusted him. More institutions wanted to work with him. His reputation became stronger every year. Eventually, Bernie Madoff became one of the most respected names on Wall Street. He even served as chairman of NASDAQ, one of the world's largest stock exchanges. To the public, he wasn't just another investor. He was a pioneer, a visionary, a man trusted by banks, charities, wealthy families, and some of the biggest names in finance. No one imagined that behind this remarkable success, one of the greatest financial crimes in history, how Bernie Madoff fooled the world. As Bernie Madoff's reputation grew, so did the number of people who wanted to invest with him. Unlike most investment firms, Madoff didn't advertise. Instead, clients often joined through personal referrals. The exclusivity made his investment fund appear even more valuable. Many believed that getting accepted was a privilege reserved for the wealthy. Soon, billionaires, celebrities, charities, universities, and even major financial institutions trusted him with billions of dollars. Madoff claimed to use a sophisticated investment strategy that consistently generated profits, regardless of whether the market was rising or falling. Few people questioned how it worked. His decades-long reputation made investors believe they were simply dealing with a financial genius, but behind the scenes, there were no extraordinary investment strategies. Instead, employees were creating fake account statements that showed trades which had never actually happened. Every month, investors received reports showing steady profits. Everything looked real. The numbers were convincing. The documents appeared authentic. As long as investors believed they were making money, very few asked to withdraw everything. The truth was far simpler. When existing investors requested their money, Madoff wasn't paying them with investment profits. He was paying them using money from new investors. It was a classic Ponzi scheme. As more people invested, the illusion continued. The system only worked because new money kept flowing in. Even during market crashes, when legitimate investment funds suffered heavy losses, Madoff continued reporting positive returns. To many investors, that seemed impossible. But instead of raising suspicion, it made them trust him even more. For decades, auditors, banks, regulators, and thousands of investors failed to uncover the deception. The fraud grew larger every year, hidden behind one man's reputation and the blind trust of those around him. How the biggest Ponzi scheme in history collapsed for years. Bernie Madoff's empire appeared unstoppable. Billions of dollars continued flowing into his investment firm, and investors believed their money was safer with him than almost anywhere else. But in 2008, everything changed. The global financial crisis shook markets around the world. Stocks collapsed, banks failed, fear spread across the financial system. Suddenly, many of Madoff's clients wanted their money back, not just millions, but billions of dollars. For the first time, the Ponzi scheme faced a problem it could no longer hide. There wasn't enough cash because the money had never really been invested. It had simply been recycled from one investor to another. The illusion had finally reached its end. On December 10th, 2008, Bernie Madoff gathered his two sons. He confessed that the investment business was nothing more than one big lie. The next morning, his sons contacted federal authorities. Within hours, FBI agents arrived at Madoff's Manhattan apartment. He was arrested without resistance. News of the fraud spread around the world. Headlines called it the largest investment fraud in history. Families lost their retirement savings, charities closed their doors, universities, pension funds, and thousands of ordinary investors saw decades of savings disappear. Investigators later estimated that the fraud involved approximately $65 billion in account balances. In 2009, Bernie Madoff pleaded guilty to multiple federal crimes, including securities fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, and perjury. The court sentenced him to 150 years in federal prison. He would never walk free again. Bernie Madoff died in prison on April 14, 2021, at the age of 82. His empire vanished. His reputation became a warning to investors everywhere. The greatest weapon behind the biggest financial fraud wasn't technology, it was trust. And history continues to remind us of one simple lesson. If an investment sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Thank you for watching Financial Crimes in History. See you in the next case.
Every story leaves evidence, 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 evidence.